Well, listen, so this is a continuation of this topic that I'm calling dating and relationships. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Ericka, Sallee, and I am joined by my beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous cousin,
Oh,
Rozonna. I call her Tresie, but
right.
somebody else might call her. And I was excited to have this conversation because as we were talking, Tresie and I have had multiple conversations about the dating world. So Tresie is single. And I've had other conversations with other women talk about the same things that we get ready to talk about tonight.
Hmm.
So first of all, thank you for saying yes.
Yes. I love talking about this kind of stuff. This is my thing.
I know
It's
it
my
is.
juice.
I know, right? And so I do want to say that I have devoted an entire chapter in my new book. I'm here now, what? Finding Joy
Okay.
After the Storm. It's called The Dating Game, and you can get your copy on Amazon. I know you got your copy, but I'm saying for
Right.
those who are watching. So let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
And it's such a multi-layered conversation, but here's my question to you. How do you feel about the world of dating these days? That's number one. And number two, how does that sway your perspective on companionship, love, relationship? Let's just talk about that. What you think about this whole world we're in?
Okay. Let's address the first question. Restate this first question for me. We'll take it question by question. So
Yep.
go
So
ahead.
the first question is, what do you think about the world of dating these days? 2024, dating feels like what to you?
I would say trash, but
Say it like you mean it.
Lord, my Lord. When I tell you, it has become so it's confusing, and it's you get so discouraged, and you have a certain standard that you hold, but then there are so many others that don't go by any standard at all.
At all, yeah.
You have grandmothers twerking.
Mm-hmm.
You have grandmothers that are showing off body parts as if they're a teenager that just don't know no better.
Yeah, yeah,
When I say discouraging,
I know.
but the only thing I say is I still keep hope alive. I still
Mm-hmm.
keep hope alive. First of all, I'm a hopeless romantic.
I know, because we watch the Hallmark Channel even when it's not Christmas time. But okay,
Girl,
digress.
hello. I'm a hopeless romantic, and then I'm a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
which is the other side of trying to navigate
Yeah.
dating in this crazy over sexualized
Mm-hmm.
world that we now live in. And
Mm-hmm.
it's over sexualized from the things that are hypersensitized, which are your eye gates and your ear gates are
Mm-hmm.
hypersensitized of
Absolutely.
everything that you see on social media, and then in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the streets.
It's a lot.
It's
And so I
a lot.
I know we talked about this, but I was very averse to dating apps just because I was like, is this really what I mean? Can somebody just introduce me to somebody? That way they come with a little bit of credibility, right? Especially if
Right,
it's somebody
right,
that you
right.
trust. And so there's so much. I literally was talking about this a few minutes ago before we went on to talk, is
Hmm.
that a couple of people put their age on their dating profile as age 48 when clearly when I looked at the picture, I was like,
He
there's
lying.
no
He
way.
lying.
Yes. Now, either it's truthful and it's just been a really rough life, or it's not true. And so on both sides, it's like, what are you getting? Right. So, but I also hear you saying that you are a hopeless romantic.
Hmm.
So, what is it that keeps that harmony for you? Like knowing, oh gosh, like this is trash or it's discouraging. And we want to be encouraged because we want to speak it the way we want it to be. But like what helps you to bring that harmony between, okay, this is what it looks like, but okay, I'm a hopeless romantic. So how are you navigating those two things?
You said it. You said it. The ability to realize what it is, yet the hopeless romantic part of me of not wanting to give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said it. You said it right in what you said. You said it. So because I try to be a mature Christian, I can deal with the reality of the thing. But then there's the Bible part of me that says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the
Yes.
evidence of things not seen. So my evidence is I'm going to keep clicking. I'm going to keep believing.
Yes.
Although my eyes say.
Don't see. Yeah.
And then sometimes I just want a good conversation. Can I get a good conversation?
Yeah.
And I take it for what it is. I take it for what it is. Now I've come across a lot of scammers, and sometimes it's pure entertainment.
Yes. So you bring up a couple good points, and I'm so glad you mentioned. So the first thing you said was, I know what I see with my eye, but I also know what I believe, right? So you just talked about a main foundational principle of transformation. Because when we're in a place and we feel some kind of way and we see what we see, it's just like, oh my gosh. But mindset and spirit wise says we got to transition ourselves into a different train of thought. And that's with dating or anything, to be honest with you. So you just like, that's the gem right there.
Yes.
The other thing that I think is important, this is helpful for me because you said you see it for what it is. So even in the scamming, you're like, okay, I see that for what it is. It might have taken you a minute to figure that out, I'm assuming. But then even or not, true.
Because I've been in the game for a little while, so I can tell the trends. I can tell some of the language and some of the reading. I'm like, this dude is a scammer. And sometimes I just entertain it just so I can laugh and say, let me see how he is going to show himself.
Okay, so with that, so what does that look like? So for those of us who may not have been in the game, what does it look like, and what is it that we should be mindful of so that we recognize it?
Who's going to see this, girl? Who's going to see this?
Well, it's going to be on YouTube. So choose your words carefully. And really, and this is not intended to, rat anybody out, but it's really to give us a perspective that we might not have, because some women might not know what to look for.
Right. So some of the things, if the language and the pictures don't match up, because for instance, they could have the picture of the person is clearly dark brown eyes, but in the description, they might say green eyes. They're like, you didn't read that. And then once you get to talking to them, or it's always a fast pace. They try to get you into some kind of commitment or some kind of lockdown quickly. It's quickly. Another thing is they like to use a lot of words.
Like big words, or just
a lot of words. They just say a lot. Just it almost is in some type of hypnotic some words that try to draw you. Yes.
Okay.
It's like, this dude is saying too much. He's a scammer.
Okay.
And it just be flowery. And then sometimes when you're conversing with them, they will repeat the questions. And I was like, did you not, scammer? Did you not
hear what
scammer? Did you not read, scammer? I just answered that question, scammer. You didn't see? Why am I repeating myself? Why do you keep asking me the same question? Or are you cutting and pasting?
Right. Okay. See, that's good stuff because, and when you say this, two things come to mind. So I was having a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago who said she met this guy and, he was just very persistent and he wanted to come to her house. Now, number one, you ain't coming to my house
Exactly.
until we are like, until I know, no, 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 no.
Yes.
And so she said that was a red flag, which would have been for me too. And so she blocked the person. So what you said is spot on. Here's another thing. I heard this today, and I don't know if you heard this term, and it might have been something that the host brought up, but I was listening to the show, YouTube, TGIF, one of the hosts, Claudia Jordan, said that there's a thing called hobosexual. Okay. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So
They're trying to
hobosexual.
find a place to live.
Yes. I was like, what? Hadn't heard of it. Hadn't heard of it. But to your
Yeah.
point, scammers, because they're looking for something that's far off from what you're looking for in terms
Yeah.
of relationship.
Yeah.
So for every woman who is listening to this, like those are nuggets, because sometimes we might be so like, if you are in a place where you want companionship and you're
Yes.
kind of like desperate, not
Not
desperate.
desperate. I wouldn't say desperate.
Okay, what would you say?
It's the for lack of a better word, like a longing, like maybe this time, or let me try it this time.
Yeah.
Desperate.
Or this time it might work kind of
This
thing.
time it
Okay.
this time it might work.
Okay.
Because when you're not desperate, because maybe in some women, I'll say some women might be desperate, but when you're not desperate, it will help you to pause and think about it when you're not desperate. Desperation will cause you to do things that
Your
you're going to
mind
look back
isn't
later and be like, why
exactly.
did I do that?
Well, see, now you dropped another gem, because as women, we need to position ourselves to make that distinction. I want to be, if I'm longing for something, then that means I'm positioning myself better to know what it is I want and to be able to reject what I don't want, right?
Exactly.
But what you just said is, when you're desperate, you might fall for the hobosexual. You might fall for the
You
scammer.
will your mind, sometimes your emotion will overtake your rationality. It will overtake those things that you know and you see that aren't right. You're like,
Well, maybe that's not what I think I see. I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna just
ignore
ignore
it.
that. I'm gonna just, because I really want, I gotta have that one. So I'm gonna just ignore those 10,002 red flags, because on the 10,003 red, I'm just gonna say yes.
Right.
I got to have it.
All rationale is gone.
Out the door.
Oh my God. It's so true. And I'm so glad you broke it down that way. And then the other gem is just the faith component. And this is the thing that I'm looking at my little green, I have it written, it says believe. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's right here for a number of reasons, not just relationship wise, but just trusting. And this is what I keep saying. I'm like, Lord, when it's time, or the person that you have for me, it's like I keep holding on to that. And sometimes I'm like, but this what I got to, because that's just what we do. That's what
And
we
not all, and the other thing, Ericka, I say it's a flip side to every coin. And then I've heard people say, you're not gonna meet him sitting in the house. I've heard that. But then, will you meet him sitting in the house? Is he the delivery man? Is he the maintenance man? Is he the cable guy?
The
Is he the
maintenance
one that
man can
helped you
have
move
two different meanings. Okay, I digress. I'm sorry.
Is he the one that helped you move into your apartment? Did
Yeah.
he deliver your furniture?
Yeah.
Did he drop something off to you? Is he the guy that's across the hall that went to see your neighbor?
Yeah. So you bring up another point that I think is important for us as single women, and that is, sometimes if we focus so much on it, it's like watching what's the phrase? A watch pot never boils, right? So
But it does.
huh?
A watch pot does boil.
I thought it was the other way around. Watch pot does.
No, the saying is, a watched pot never boils. But a watched pot does boil, does it not?
Eventually. To
Eventually.
the point. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you said it that way. It makes you think. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's exactly the point then, is that sometimes when we think so much about it, like, I just want to meet somebody, I just want to meet somebody, and it's so much pressure on us emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, that it almost, in some cases, can check us out of where that person is. So
That's because you're allowing yourself to be consumed with it.
yes, you could. Absolutely.
You
You
can
could.
allow yourself to be consumed with it, and that's the part that hurts you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, having those thoughts, and you can't help your thoughts, but you can help how much you entertain your
The
thoughts.
thoughts. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And feelings are real.
Yeah, they are, because we're human.
We were made to love.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a healthy woman, you are made to love. You were made to receive. We
Love.
are incubators. We incubate, we take in.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So all of that plays a part in how in the makeup of, we did not ask for this.
Mm.
This is how we are
Create.
made.
Yep.
And if something tragic doesn't happen to alter the natural way that we're made up by God, if
Mm-hmm.
something tragic doesn't happen to us to alter those ways,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so many layers to the conversation, because the other thing I hear you saying is it is about establishing a healthy relationship with us.
There
And
you
this
go.
is what I say to my clients all the time. And I say it to myself, because I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't say to other people and not know that I have to be in the best place that I can possibly be,
And
mentally,
and and
physically, spiritually, emotionally.
and to that point, I heard our pastor many years ago. One is the word is a two-edged sword. The other thing he said was when you have one finger pointing at someone else, you have three other fingers pointing back at you.
Yep, that's right.
So everything that you're saying to somebody else is good for you as well. Same thing
Absolutely.
with the preacher. Everything that he preaches to the congregation, he needs to take it for himself as well.
That's
So
right.
everything you give comes back to you. And
Absolutely.
the more that you put, and the more that you put in you, is the more that you have to give to others.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a revolving
Yes.
door.
It's
You
a
take in,
cycle.
you give out.
Yep.
You take in, you give out. It's a
And the
revolving
problem
cycle.
is a lot of us we give out more than we take in from a self-care perspective. That's my
Yeah.
jam. But,
Right, right, right.
but I also think that that sets us up to be healthy
Be
enough
depleted.
to be depleted. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
we give up
Mm-hmm.
more than we take in. But back to your point around the scammers, it is when we honor ourselves enough to know who we are, what we want, what we deserve, then it's like we get more clarity, discernment to be able to pick up on some of those things. So that's why I'm glad you mentioned it, because somebody could be watching this and like all over the place and heard what you said and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Number one, let me check myself, get myself in a good place,
Right.
and let me not just go on what I see. And if I believe it enough, then I know that my time will come,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Man. Whew. So keeping hope alive. That's what we do.
Keeping hope alive. Keeping hope alive.
I could probably have this conversation with you all day and night, and we could probably laugh
Yes.
about it. We got some
Yes.
stories
All
about
day
it.
and night. Because I got some good scammer stories, baby.
I know, I know. Look,
Our most recent one.
really?
Well, it was almost a year ago. You know that guy. I showed you the
Oh,
picture.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. So look, we'll have to talk off camera. That's the real details. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, what I want every woman, every person who sees this conversation to get, number one, get the nuggets that you need, because you drop gym after gym after gym. And so it's just important for us to just be connected to women who are going through in the same place, right? To share the funny stories, to share this girl, do you believe those kinds of stories? But to
Mhm.
also just encourage each other, because sometimes it can get hard. Like, I'm 53, like starting over. And,
And look, and the other caveat, here's the flip side to your coin. I'm 58 and I've never been married.
I was just getting ready to talk about that. Yeah. And that, so first of all, the whole 58 is like, I don't even believe it, but I know it because I'm related to you, but somebody else is probably thinking what I would say if I didn't know you, which is you look gorgeous.
Like,
But
it's all like,
yeah, the flip side of the coin. So we have to hold each other up. And we just have to believe that God has who he has for us when he has. And we just have to be open, right? To just not put too much pressure, not to overthink, but to also, be willing to step out and
that's
just,
it.
explore and be
Yeah,
wise in doing it.
yeah.
So before we wrap up, I know that I want you to share your amazing talent. I just want to let people know that when I had
You
my,
want me to sing? Just joking.
oh Lord, oh well, I was gonna say we could do a duet. Oh God. But for my book signing, you made these amazing cookies. That's just the tip of
Oh,
the iceberg.
yes.
So I want you to tell people about Cookie Love in case they want to find you, in case they want to know more than just the gems that you dropped on the dating scene. But talk about Cookie Love for a minute.
Oh, okay. I always say my mom is the cookie to my love
Mm-hmm.
because she is definitely my major support system when it comes to baking cookies. I've been doing it for a number of years,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like it's always something to change the recipe to try to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
But I do individually wrapped cookies if you want to do a cookie gift basket for somebody, if you want to personalize it with a label or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, I do that as well. I'm just local. I do not like to ship because shipping scares me because I'm concerned with freshness.
Okay, that
I
makes
have
sense.
this thing about freshness, and it's so expensive to ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I do all kind of cookie baskets. It's right now it's a home-based business.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. So how
other
can people find you if they want to see what you have to offer?
they would just catch me on Facebook,
And
Messenger, or Instagram.
okay. And that's Cookie Love, Cookie LUV.
LUV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cookie LUV.
Well, I will tell you this, after the book signing, there were a few cookies left, and I was like, okay, this is my stash, and I quite enjoyed those. So I do want to say thank you for just having this conversation. And there's so much to talk about that
It is. It's
we
like it's
may
over
come
too
back.
fast. It's too fast. It's over too soon.
I know. I know.
Because I
That
have
just
some more to
means
say.
it's space for us to come back and continue the conversation. So, for those of you who are watching, I do want you to subscribe to the channel, share it out, comment, like, because I know you and your friends are having the same conversations that we're having here. And so,
Yes.
we want you to come back and to just engage with us more, and definitely leave your comments about this conversation. Again, I want you to go to Amazon to get your copy of I'm Here Now What? Finding Joy After the Storm, where this topic is discussed in more detail. And so until next time, I look forward to seeing you all again real soon. Take care and be well.